All right, so this is day 2 of using a Bernese protocol to switch from methadone and fentanyl over to buprenorphine maintenance. So today the dose that I took was probably like more like 1.1 or 1.2 milligrams. These tablets are really hard to split evenly, and so I think I probably took like zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2 milligrams more. But the targeted dose for today was 1 milligram of buprenorphine, and that's about maybe an eighth or a 16th of a full maintenance dose. So we're gradually titrating that upward, and I was trying to keep my expectations realistic for today, but I took the medication probably around like 9:15, 9:30, and I went for a walk because I really didn't want to just be sitting and perseverating on my internal state. Like, again, on the first day I told myself, like, I was like giving myself a panic attack, over the possibility of precipitated withdrawals. So I went for a walk for like an hour as the tablet dissolved, and then afterward, and I didn't have some crazy precip fever dream where I was like, vomiting all over and just like, curled in a ball on the ground or anything like that. Like, it was okay, but I did notice, like, 30 to 45 minutes in, my face is covered in sweat, and it's not like particularly hot out. I'm not doing like a particularly arduous walk, and I started feeling really weak, and by the time I got home I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have even been able to continue the walk. So for the next 3 to 4 hours, honestly, it felt like I had gotten Narcan. So it felt like someone had reversed an OD with naloxone, and you go into terrible withdrawal when that happens. So I had this, again, it's the akathisia. It's like the extreme restlessness. Like, I'm in bed just rocking. Like, the only thing I can compare it to is like a severely autistic kid who is stimming, but I'm rocking because like you get this terrible urge to like, you just can't stay still, and you get this urge to like thrash out with your limbs, and it's like rocking. Just for me, it kind of like preempts that almost, and it makes the motion a little bit like, it makes it a little bit more natural and feel like it's less of a stress to the body. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I kind of hit the wall today. Like, during that 3 to 4 hour period, I was so just so uncomfortable, despite the clonidine that I took, despite I think clonidine was really I took gabapentin too, which was not prescribed by the PA that I'm seeing for this process, but which I had anyway. So that those two together helped like a little bit, like maybe 1 to 2 on a scale of 10, but it freaking sucked. That those 4 hours, like I started to, you know, reconsider what I'm doing with this. I know I'm going to go through with it. I know it's the right thing, but it really was enough to wake me up to like, wow, this is not going to be, just because it's a gradual titration upward doesn't mean you're not going to go through severe withdrawal. It's just kind of spread out and managed as best as we can over the course of several days. So I did use like around 5 or 6 p.m. today. Again, my fent use is down to less than a quarter of what it was, rather, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I have decreased hugely, and this war of the receptors is being raged, and I can actually feel it. So the bupe is already blocking the fen. When I shoot it now, I can feel it's not nearly the same effect as I had before. So that's what we want. We want the bupe to get the foothold at the mu opioid receptors, to block the other medications, and to just eventually have me stabilize on that lower level of opioid stimulation. But there's pain in getting from up here in terms of mu opioid receptor stimulation to down here, and I just have to go through it. And I have trouble tolerating any mental or physical discomfort, but particularly mental discomfort. That has always been something that has been rough for me. It's just I don't know, guys. I'm not good at it, and I tell myself it's such a craven, like compulsive way to live. You can't just be a slave to avoiding your own mental and physical discomfort. Like, if you live like that, you will never achieve anything, worthwhile in life. And it's so sad for me because like growing up and even now, like there are things that I do. I'm a distance runner, you know. I study subjects like Mandarin and like scientific subjects that are hard, that challenge me. So it's not like I'm someone who just never challenges themselves, never steps outside, they're sort of like rut. Like, no, I have a lot of that in me. And those things require, stepping out of your comfort zone. They can produce the kind of, emotional and physical distress that I'm talking about. But like, there's something about addiction. It's just like I talk about it as like a severe OCD, and I'm caught in that loop. And it is just so freaking incredibly hard to stop. I don't know. I'm far along now, and the physical stuff is so bad that, frankly, I think even a normal person would have trouble tolerating it. But so I'm hoping that maybe there is no standard response to a Bernese protocol. Everybody's a little bit different, but typically days 3 and 4 can be the worst. And so it's hard to know that tomorrow when I take 2 milligrams is probably going to be even worse, but I am hoping that because I have a fast metabolism and I had less methadone hanging around because of that, I am hoping that I kind of hit this wall earlier, in day 2, and that tomorrow will be maybe the same or maybe not too much worse, because the idea of like tomorrow being worse and then me having to cut out the fent entirely is like unthinkable right now. So I actually, the PA asked me, her name is Nicole, she asked me if I used the day before when I saw her this morning, and I just like reflexively lied and said no. Like after 20 years of addiction, I'm so used to like just lying about that it might as well be like a fucking spinal cord reflex, you know what I mean? So I'll tell her the truth when I go in tomorrow. But yeah, I am hoping that tomorrow, which is day 3 for me, will be the last day, like will be the first day rather of me not using any fent at all. Again, I can feel the bup blocking it, so there's less of a reward if I do use, and it's got to stop, and it's time. So I just have to get through the discomfort. It's super hard for me, but I have to find a way through, or I'm gonna stay trapped in this methadone cycle forever, and it does not work for me. Again, even when I was on methadone for a year and a half and not using any other mind-altering substance, not weed, not alcohol, like nothing. Even during that year and a half, my quality of life was the lowest that it has ever been in my adult life. So it's not a viable option. I have to switch over, and I have to get through the discomfort. I was really touched by how many people watched my first video and reached out. I can't tell you what it means to me, like to have a community of people all over the world who care that I'm suffering. Like, I think I've talked about this before, but it is, I don't know. When I was younger, I had a really rough time in my 20s, and during that time I had 2 psychiatrists, and one diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, and the other one passionately disagreed with that and said that, like, because I was high achieving, because I had some long-term relationships, like because I didn't have like the intense fear of abandonment anymore, that I don't fit the criteria. So I wouldn't fit the criteria today, but I think it's possible, like just in my inner nature, that I am like borderline, because again, just it turned out, called my mom today, and she is like down for the count with some kind of, I think it's probably strep, and some kind of like just 24-hour bug that made her sound so sick. And I cannot tolerate when someone I love is sick either. Like one time my fiance, who, like, this is a terrible story, but my fiance is a mainland Chinese guy. Like, they do not take drugs, okay? And he was so sick with a stomach bug that I made him soup, and I put 5 milligrams of oxy in it. So the oxy made him throw up more. He knew that I gave him something. Smart dude, intuitive dude, but he knew I gave him something. But basically the outcome of that was that he felt better. It was fun to throw up after he got the 5 milligrams of oxy, and it affected his like very opioid naive system very strongly. So All of this to say, I have a really hard time just sitting in discomfort. But like when other people acknowledge that, I know it's kind of pathetic in a way, but when other people acknowledge that and say that like we love you, we want you to do this to get better, like it has an effect on me that is probably much stronger than someone who is quote unquote normal could appreciate. Like it means a lot to me just to think like I don't know that I'm flashing through the minds of other people, that I'm not just like at home rocking in my bed alone. Like I feel like such a like freaking failure. I feel like 20 years of this is just it's taken me down so low that like I have dark thoughts these days when my chemical my chemical pleasures are sort of abating. So I really love you guys. Thank you again, and I will update you tomorrow come hell or high water.